que necesitamos. Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he hasn't said anything. Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best. Sacrifice for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
How's everybody doing? Good morning to everybody. God bless everybody that is watching. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. Thank you for watching on this April 21st. It's also in the morning over here live in Tijuana, California, Mexico, bringing it to you guys from our beautiful country. God bless our country of Mexico, our city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Different topics today of the world. Of course, you know, the world is relying right now on the news of Derek Chauvin, the verdict and the sentence, guilty on all counts. We will get on top of that topic in a few moments. But first, let me bring up to you something that has been cooking for a little while. It is the visa. And right here, you see in that the Biden administration strikes a deal to offer 22,000 extra seasonal guest worker visas to people from Central America and ultimately from our country of Mexico. That I believe that is a great, legal way to come and work to the United States of America. Ultimately, it is to the farmers and people who want to work on land. And Routers right here says 2 Biden administration agencies have struck a deal to offer 22,000 extra seasonal worker visas to employers that are coming for months. Bloomberg Law reported on Monday. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Labor Secretary Marty Walsh agreed last week to lift the cap to H-2B visas. The report here said, citing 2 sources, families with the process. And it says right here, the extra visas for seasonal non-agriculture labor called H-2B visas are in addition to the annual allotment of 66,000 H-2B visas. So accordingly, these are the visas that they are delivered for everybody that is watching. These are the visas that are delivered for the farmers that they're coming legally to work into the United States of America. There's 2 good things about this. One is that as they're coming in legally and they're offering jobs to people that they are actually going to work as seasonal workers in the United States of America legally. The work legally is really important. And coming in through a purpose that is to work on the land and to work the land of the United States of America in the farmland. That is a purpose. And actually, that is an asset to the country of the United States of America, because these people know how to work the land. We have a lot of farmers right here in Mexico that they are the they are the architects of our land. And without them, we could not eat, we could not provide life to our country. And it is so sad. That is the second thing. First thing is that, they're providing a better job for them, a better life for them in the United States as a seasonal worker. But ultimately, we will as Mexican, I will tell you, as a Mexican, I will love for these people to work our land and for our government to be paying them exactly what they deserve as they are architects of our land. And the government will actually give them the value that they deserve. And it is so sad that we are watching how continuously other countries are providing better jobs that our corrupt country that is Mexico, and our corrupt government and our corrupt politicians, that they steal and steal and steal and steal, and they don't provide for our country. That is so sad. But you guys see right here that the Biden administration has provided 22,000 H-2B visas for farmers. Inevitably is going to be extremely important for people to be working legally in the United States of America. Now, in another news, George W. Bush speaks. This is crazy because now George W. Bush, he's speaking. And he speaks specifically of the Republican Party and how it is divided, and how the Republican Party is doomed, and how it is basically throwing the Republican Party under a bus. And it's George W. Bush. This is Joe Biden on the page, but George W. Bush, it says right here in the article. Let me read the article for you guys. It says George W. Bush speaks out about the state of the Republican Party under the Donald Trump administration. That basically, George W. Bush does not like Donald Trump. And, a lot of Republicans did not like George W. Bush. So here the article, it says, former U.S. President George W. Bush has spoken out about the state of the political party he once led, describing it as isolationist, protectionist, and to a certain extent, nativist. Mr. Bush, as a Republican who was president in 2001 to 2009, has returned to the spotlight this week to promote his latest book, Out of Many, One, Portraits of America Immigrants. This morning on NBC Breakfast, he said this, and he quoted, part of the purpose of the book is to elevate the discourse and to remind our fellow citizens of the beauty of America, that it attracts people who are fleeing tyranny and oppression. I understand that. But the thing is that these people don't understand the enormous child trafficking that occurs in these masses of caravans of people. These are the situations that they pander to enormous masses of influx of migrants, and they pander to the globalist compact of immigration that is a broken system. We understand that a lot of people are fleeing our country of Mexico in the Central America part of the continent of America. But the geographics of how this immigration of influx is handled, it is totally incorrect. We need to put authorities, we need to have the national authorities to take care of the national procedures, and do not have activists from the United States of America to come over here and to dictate what we should do. That is the actual opposite of what we need. And ultimately, they need to address the fact that in these masses of influx of migrants, where migrants are actually, a lot of them, the majority of them are fleeing because of what he says, tyranny and oppression. And these masses of influx, there's no security. You see the cartels right now operating in our country, and they're enormously taking over the borders. You see a lot of child trafficking, a lot of sex trafficking, a lot of gun trafficking, drug trafficking, and all of this, and also migrants that are being kidnapped and being held to ransom for an exquisite amount of money. So these kind of details, they don't say it, but they just rely on the pander. That I understand. He has certain extent to be right, but he doesn't know what actually is happening interiorly in these large groups. So he says that it attracts people who are fleeing tyranny and oppression, or just want an opportunity to provide a better life. completely agree with you, but they don't open up the geographics of this. And it says it's a beautiful country that we have, and yes, it's not beautiful when we condemn, call people names, and scare people about immigration. Completely agree with this, but I don't know who he's referring to, because when he was referring to the past president, let me refer him to the past president, that it was Barack Obama, that it was the one that is, for me, the most racist president that has ever existed in the United States of America, deporting more Latinos and mistreating more Latinos and also Mexicans in history. You want to talk about that? Let's settle down, because don't put yourself on the spotlight riding the coattails of the 45th president. Talk about the 44th president, that it was Barack Obama. Why don't you talk about that? That is inevitably, or the 43rd, or whatever you want to call it. Talk about 44th. I'm sorry, 44th. Talk about that. Nobody talks about that. But basically, they criticize the president that try to do something to protect the border. These people don't talk about, that when he was president, there was a wall and there was money funded to put a wall and put more border security. He doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about that Barack Obama was extremely extensively strict with border security. Also, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about when Clinton was president. He built a wall. It was not a huge wall, but it was building a wall around, certain parts of the United States of America. And also their statements of, Bill Clinton saying, we have a problem at the borders. We have an enormous influx. We have these kind of gangs coming in and coming out. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about when his dad was president, that also he was talking about border security when Reagan was president. And ultimately, nobody's talking about the heat sensor wall that it was built on Barack Obama, that is the most technology and advanced wall that it has been built. So now all of a sudden, the past president is the worst. It's just amazing how the narrative, and it says it's an issue. He also quotes, it says it's an issue to frighten some of the electorate, and I'm trying to have a different kind of voice. If you were to describe the Republican Party as you see it today, how would you describe it? The interviewer asked, and it says, I will describe it as an isolationist, protectionist, and to a certain extent, nativist. Are you disappointed? She pressed, and it says, he responded, well, it's not exactly my vision, but I'm just an old guy they put out to posture. So this is George W. Bush Jr. Given a opinion about the Republican Party. I will tell you something. A lot of Republicans that the audience itself that I have, a lot of them are right wing. I have a lot of independent audience. I will tell you that. I am a Mexican citizen. I cannot be a Democrat or a Republican for the 40th millionth time. So I'm an independent. I'm not even in my country. I am for a political party. I don't care if I'm right wing or left wing. I am in the middle. So I will tell you this right now. The Republican Party is a complete disaster right now. It has no identity. They have taken away that from the Republican Party. They have taken away the identity and what it represents. As soon as all the insurrection and all this kind of stuff started happening, the word insurrection, the events of January 6th at the Capitol, the war, interior race war that is occurring, that it was occurring inside the country of the United States. All of this, it was built and it was made, and it is what it is to take away the identity of the Republican Party, and it has to a certain extent damaged the Republican Party really bad. The Republican Party is a complete mess. It needs total reconstruction. You guys seen how it was a complete mess, and in the Senate, everybody thought that the Senate they were going to vote for Donald Trump and he Donald Trump going to Georgia and doing a whole event for that particular person that it was a candidate in Georgia, and it was I'm advocating for you, and then the next day he got betrayed and backstabbed by that exact same person. It's a complete mess. It is a reality, and it needs, again, drain the swamp. It needs complete reconstruction. Now, if you talk about the Democratic Party, I will tell you something. They are, right now empowered, and they play dirty. I will tell you this. They play real dirty. The Republican Party is more conservative. They don't play dirty. They try to just, go as it is and try to obey, the law. The Democratic Party, on the other hand, my God, you have seen the Democratic, Party pushes for the leftist radical movements, the leftist radical groups, the leftist radical activists, the leftist radical liberals. All of that goes with the Democratic Party. So it has a clear advantage of what the Republican Party it is right now. The Republican Party right now, for me, and for a lot of Republicans, it is a complete mess. And it has a lot of rhinos, like you guys say, Republicans in name only. It has a lot of that. So for this man to come over and right now to basically give a statement and to try to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, the Republican Party is a mess. The Republican Party has been a mess since quite some time. If it wasn't for the past president, the 45th president, the Republican Party will be done. The past president came and started cleaning up everything, draining the swamp, like you guys say. He started cleaning up everything. For God's sake, all the creatures started to come out of the swamp. So now that he's out, now they try to put the blame on somebody of all this, that it was created by a globalist, a globalist agenda and a narrative from the left. I'm not a Republican, but I'm just seeing the things that it is clearly for a lot of people that they have open minds. Clearly, this is how it is. And now you have people giving opinions about the past administration, and they're not talking about that. Right now, the United States of America, it has a poverty situation. It has a poverty situation. And a lot of jobs are being lost. It's getting to be really difficult to boost the economy because of COVID, how it affected the country of the United States of America. It is amazing. And you got statements like this that possibly it does not help to unite. They talk about this word that is unity so much, and these kind of statements, they don't help at all. At all. They don't help at all. So another topic, yesterday, it was big. I have to talk about it, whether I like it or not, and whether it is relevant or not. I have to talk about it because this was, all over every part of the world, It is what it is. Here it is. George Floyd jury finds Derek Chauvin guilty of murder. Now, this is controversial. I'm not going to give my extensive opinion about this because on the narrative of the people of color, that I'm a person of color also, for everybody to understand. We need to ride also with the Black Lives Matter movement. As a Mexican, if I don't ride with the Black Lives Matter movement, I am a vendido, I am a sellout, I am a betrayer of my own people, because these people are brainwashed that we need to ride under the sheep of the bus of the Black Lives Matter movement. First and foremost, Black Lives Matter, it is a movement that is created for Black Lives Matter, for Black people, supposedly. And I am also, right now, there's a lot of Black Americans in the United States of America that they're asking how much the Black Lives Matter movement has helped the Black community, first and foremost. And also, have they been fair to other circumstances and murders that have been occurring in their Black communities, like Black on Black crime, like Black, women, abortion, African-American women and abortion, that is also, it's against, well, whatever you want to, it's your body is your right, but, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about Black Lives Matter helping the Black communities. They only, go and do one event and they're like, oh my God, they helped. That is, they're giving so much, but they're creating millions and millions and millions of Black Lives Matter funds in this organization. And, if you don't accept the fact of whatever if you're in part of this Black Lives Matter movement, and the thing that I have asked Black Lives Matter followers, specifically Hispanics, they have this narrative and this understanding that Black Lives Matter and black people took the burden to fight this, and they are taking the weight of all this racism for everybody to come over and support them. That is supposedly their idea. That is their ideology. Now, as I am going to address this, I will be clear and transparent. As a Mexican citizen that lives on the other side of your country, of the United States of America, I would like to ask for the 40th million time, how many times this Black Lives Matter movement has helped a Hispanic family. I will pause right there, and I will have a sip of coffee. There was a young, beautiful lady in the military, Hispanic. You guys know who she is. She was murdered by another military African American. That is not comparable to what happened to the police abuse, brutality, abuse of power, that eventually exists. For whoever doesn't want to admit it, it does exist. Police officers need more training. Police officers like Derek Chauvin need to be screened. They need to be filtered. And if they have so many complaints about him being in a certain way racist, they need to take care of these kind of police officers. Put him on the cooler for a little while. I don't know. Take away his job. I don't know. I don't know what the solution might be. I'm not a cop. I'm not the guy that puts the solutions for this with this kind of man that committed this crime. But let me just let you know how it is. Black Lives Matter has never helped no Hispanic, no Mexican. Black Lives Matter is for the only narrative. I'm pushing a narrative that is a Marxist communist, movement. Everybody knows that. They have come out and said it. They are a Marxist communist movement. That they're only for the interest of their own interest. It's not to help the black community. It's not to help the Hispanic community. And it was a Hispanic, beautiful lady that was murdered by an African American. Nobody talked about that. They got the Conan Hainant, a young kid, 5 years old, that it was murdered by an African American. Nobody was talking about that. You got multiple cases of whites and also other people that they have been murdered by African American. Nobody's talking about that. George Floyd, it is a huge subject because we are born and we are raised into this ideology that we are under the white supremacist oppression. On the other side of the border, as I was explaining to you guys, since we are born, we are raised to hate the Border Patrol, just for you guys to understand. Until we get into an adult phase, we will understand that we mature our minds and we see the other side of the ball game. But when you're young, they tell you the Border Patrol is bad, the Border Patrol is wrong, the Border Patrol oppresses, the Border Patrol is white supremacist, the Border Patrol is imperialistic on their borders, the Border Patrol is the worst. So you get to hate the Border Patrol at a young age, and when you grow up, you start seeing, then when you get to the border, John is not John, John is Juan. His last name is not, example, Johnson. His last name is Rodriguez, Ramirez, Gonzalez, Lopez. So you got a lot of Border Patrol officers that they're Hispanic. And ultimately, it's exactly the same. When you grow up and you go to, you see the United States Customs, they say, oh my God, a lot of United States Customs are really racist. A lot of this, a lot of that. Yes, that exists. I will tell you that. There's a lot of, racism around the world, and it needs to be addressed. And this is, something that it needs to be fixed. But don't fall into the narrative that is because of the white supremacy. No, because there's black people that are racist. There's brown people, Mexican people that are racist. There's racism. If you want to classify racism on all around. Don't classify racism just because this incident happened. In my eyes and in my opinion. And again, I will ask this question for all the people Black Lives Matter now bringing the word brown into their classification. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're saying blacks and browns, we need to unite. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that for a second. We need to be united as to bring justice. Yes. I have a lot of black American friends, and they know me. I have a lot of black American friends. But with this movement, it is a really radical leftist, Marxist, communist movement. And you're trying to bring radical communist, Marxist, leftist movement and bring browns into your communist, radical, leftist, Marxist movement, which a lot of Mexicans, we don't want to be in that. And a lot of Mexicans, they don't want to be a part of that. So when you bring the word brown with black, you're trying to bring two races into the same problem that this problem referred. So, in my opinion, in my critical opinion, I will say that justice has been served. Yes. Justice has been served. This man needed to be sentenced. Yes. This man needs to be sentenced, and a good sentence. Yes. Whoever doesn't like it, and whoever is watching right now that does not agree with me, there's the unlike button on my live feed. Goodbye. This man needed to be sentenced. Oh, Oscar, the body camera is showing, and he was this, and he was that, and he did this, and he did that. I don't care. This man needed to be sentenced for what he did. He was incapable of handling the situation. All of them were incapable of just calling an ambulance. All of them were incapable of handling a situation for more than 9+ minutes. So, it is what it is. He got sentenced. The article says this. For everybody that is watching, you guys have seen it. It's all around the world. It's a story. Derek Chauvin, 45 years old, was filmed kneeling Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. That supposedly now people are saying that it was on his back. He pleaded guilty. No, he did not plead guilty. He was second-degree murder, carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. Third-degree murder is punishable to up to 25 years in prison. Second-degree murder, manslaughter is punishable up to 10 years in prison. So I don't think that he is going to get, in my opinion, I don't think that he is going to get 20 years, 30 years. I really don't think so. I think that his sentence is going to be, give or take, a good 10 years. I would think that good 10 years, and with good time, he's going to be laid off at 7. Going to spend a good 7 years in prison. It's not going to be that much. And if the sentence, listen up. This is why a lot of people, this is this is another article just to bring up and the same topic, and to talk about the same topic. This is the New York Times today. As you're seeing right here, the New York Times it has all the celebrations of the sentencing of, Derek Chauvin. Now, let me tell you this. If the sentence, because they already sent a message. It is unrest. We are not going to rest. This is just the start. So this is a start for people to just start protesting more about events that are going to happen. Instead of fixing the problem, instead of, addressing the problem of training more the police and training more and addressing more the law and training more the police officers as they need to be trained for them to not, these situations to occur, it is going to be more radical in these protests. Now, if the sentence does not comply with what the audience and what the public wants, watch out. Watch out. Because that is another wave of uncomfort, and that is another wave of the saying of these activists, no justice, no peace. Until they get what they want, and until they say what it is deservable to this man, they will not even rest until they already sent the message that they're not going to rest. This is going to continue. as they are going to, continue and continue and continue. So Derek Chauvin got sentenced. For everybody that is watching, everybody knows about that. I really didn't want to, address the fact, but zapatero su zapato, like we say in Mexico, shoe salesman to shoe salesman. Now Black Lives Matter trying to bring Browns into the picture. No. No, it's a thing about unity. No. It's a thing about unity about what? You want to unify about what? Justice against the system? Let's unite, because I'm all about that. Uniting justice against the system, on the bad system. The bad system. There's good cops, and there's bad cops, and there's really bad cops. So let's fight the system for a better life for our families, for our children, for the future of law enforcement, for the future of the authority, for the Constitution, for justice of our future, for justice of your country, for justice of eliminating the word racism now. Let's fight for that. But don't put us on the same category as a movement that is a leftist, communist, Marxist organization. That is BLM. So you're trying to bring that leftist, communist, Marxist organization into now the brown people. That is practically Latinos and Mexicans. Don't do that, because it classify what you're fighting for. And, and stop the looting. What is that? I'm not even going to get into topics that are they're really not to be addressed, because everybody knows. And I asked a question in my page. I suppose that this will stop the looting and stop the riots now that this man is sentenced. And let's see if the sentence goes accordingly to what the public wants, but it's not because what the family of George Floyd wants, is what the public now wants and what Black Lives Matter want. Because if George Floyd family says, okay, that's okay, and if Black Lives Matter pushes, no, that's not okay. Let's give it, no, let's riot, let's loot. Like Maxine Waters said. It's unbelievable. So, is it going to stop or not? That is the question. Another topic that I've been really emphatic in talking about it for quite some time. It is the United States imposing sanctions on Belarus. And this is Vladimir Alexander Lukashenko, that he's a communist dictator for more than 26 years. He has been the president of Belarus. And how the tensions are right now with Russia and Belarus with the United States of America. The United States aimed at state-owned enterprises that support government of Belarus President Lukashenko. And it said the Biden administration on Monday renewed United States sanctions on 9 state-owned companies in Belarus for human rights violations by the regime of President Alexander Lukashenko. The move by the United States Treasury Department primarily forestalled potential failed sales of the U.S. crude oil to the former Soviet state, which U.S. officials had hoped was looking for alternative sources to Russian supply for its refineries. And also they add the U.S. Department of State cited government suppression of political protests following the August 2020 re-election Lukashenko, which the U.S. has said was fraudulent. And yes, it was. Yes, it was. You guys know that I talked about it in the year of 2020 when this man practically changed his elections. Exactly what has been happening with all communist and socialist countries, that they are under this communist and socialist regime. Electricity power went down. When it came up, the percentage in the pools showed a large percentage of change into the opposition. This man was down on points. The electricity went down, and when it came back up, he was winning. Exactly what happened in Honduras, exactly what happened in Nicaragua, exactly what happened in Ecuador, exactly what happened in Venezuela, exactly what is happening all over the world, in the United States now, exactly what has happened. This exactly the same strategy of communists and socialists do. And after he got himself reelected, this man ultimately, after he got himself reelected, there was riots, there was lootings. And ultimately, the people, and it was a lot of young people in Belarus who were protesting for this man to just release power. And Alexander Lukashenko could not handle it. His government could not handle it. So he asked help of his, brother, that is Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin came into the picture and cleared the whole situation out, sending the Russian military to help Alexander Lukashenko in his country. Now, due to these violations of humanitarian rights to protest and all of this kind of stuff, now the United States of America is sanctioning, again, Belarus with this. A lot of tensions, as I have mentioned before, a lot of tensions are going to happen in this certain particular stage in the United States with international affairs. It's really, there's a lot of tension in this particular situation as they are trying to come into agreement to just talk, not only to negotiate, just to sit down and talk between Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden, which they are not getting along as well as there was the past president, Donald Trump, and in the past president also, before Barack Obama and all this kind of stuff. It's as Donald Trump was with Sean Hannity. He said this: it's okay to have a good relationship with Russia. It's okay to have a good relationship with China. It's okay to have a good relationship with North Korea. I had it. But this is horrible. It's only going to complicate more for the country of the United States. How's everybody doing? God bless everybody that is watching. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Boys News. Hope that you guys are well today. God bless every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Topics of the day. Well, we talked about, the 22,000 visas, H-2B visas that they were just provided for farmers to go and work on the land, for foreigners to go and work on the land of the United States of America. Also, we talked about the Derek Chauvin case, found guilty on all counts. Ultimately, also, we talked about the U.S. imposing sanctions on Belarus and other topics. So God bless every single one of you. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, on all platforms. And also, you can follow me as Oscar L. Blue. You can follow me at Facebook. Follow me at YouTube, my channel at YouTube, and also at Instagram and Rumble. And for everybody that is watching, I will be moving my live feeds to Patreon. Patreon.com. If you guys want to continue to see my live feeds, as we have done, multiple traveling. We have gone through Guatemala 3 times. We are planning to go through Central America and South America. Also, we have traveled the borders of the United States of America. And also we have done, multiple work, boots on the ground work. We are going to move to patreon.com as soon as everything gets, settled. And the page is well accommodated. We are going to be doing the live feeds in patreon.com. So, I invite you guys to join patreon.com. The censorship is getting really bad over here in these platforms. So God bless you all. Stay safe. It was a pleasure to be with you guys. It is an honor and it is a pride to be a Latino and a Mexican. And God bless the United States of America. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always, your country's first. God bless.
Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he hasn't said anything. logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best, basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.